Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another video. We're wrapping up the week talking about the green cards coming out in the first set of Zenkai series, and today we're talking about a channel favorite, which is King Piccolo. You guys know how I feel about the red King Piccolo deck. Even though it's been nerfed into the ground multiple times, it's still very good. Lots of free play, and it feels like they're taking that kind of free play approach that King Piccolo is kind of known for in Dragon Ball Super and giving it to this new King Piccolo green deck, albeit it seems way more balanced. But we'll talk about that in today's video. If you guys are new here though, make sure to subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss a video. And if you guys want to help support the channel, there are many ways to do so down in the description as always. But today, guys, if you want to support me, consider using my link to TCG Player in the description. If you want to buy or pre-order any of the cards we talk about in today's video, or any trading cards for that matter. And if you guys are looking for sealed product, make sure to go to Mystic TCG down in the description, our team store sponsor, incredible prices, and incredible people. Anyways, let's get into this, starting with the leader. So we have King Piccolo. Auto, add one card from life to hand. When this card attacks, draw one, then play up to one green demon clan with an energy cost of 2 and 10,000 power from your hand. So right off the rip, that auto gives me green Ginyu vibes, but obviously much better because it plays it right from your hand. I think the Ginyu deck, you had to like stack the top of your deck to play the cards, but yeah, this seems real good. I mean, swing, free play a guy. Yes, they are 10k power, so that's not really going to threaten awakened leaders on their own, but there are lots of effects that boost their power that we'll see in a little bit. Awaken, release 4 or less, or you have 3 or more demon clans with energy cost of 2 or more in play. Draw one card and switch one of your energy to active mode. King Piccolo, World Conquest awaits. Permanent. When one of your Namekian or Demon Clan cards would be KO'd by an opponent's skill, you may place one Demon Clan from your Z energy in your drop instead. That's actually some pretty cool protection. I think that's mostly going to be relevant in the green and yellow matchups, because green can pretty much KO anything without barrier pretty easily, and yellow can KO most things in rest mode pretty easily. So good protection in those matchups, but obviously this does not protect from warping or bouncing or minusing, but still pretty good. When this card attacks, draw one, then play up to one Piccolo Jr. or Demon Clan card, both green and with energy costs of 3 or less and 15k power or less from your hand. So more free play, and the fact that the leader still draws a card and on top of that free play is again pretty solid. So then we have a Z leader for the deck. So Piccolo Jr. Vengeful Awakening. Z awaken for no energy cost when your life's 2 or less and there are 1 or more King Piccolo cards in your drop over green King Piccolo or green Piccolo Jr. So no energy cost is a lot different than a lot of other Z leaders we've seen, but again, being at 2 or less life and noting this is not a 20k base leader, that's a little rough, not gonna lie. Very low life total threshold, and being a plain 15k leader, and spoiler, this leader does not actually draw a card either. That's a little rough, but let's see if it can convince us to play it. So permanent, your green Namekian and green demon clans gain 5,000 power. Permanent, if a King Piccolo card is in your Z energy, this card gains +5 and critical during your turn. Activate main once per turn, play up to one green demon clan with energy cost of 3 or less from your hand. So the free play is a lot less restrictive, I guess. I mean, it's more or less the same as the awakened leader, but the permanents are actually kind of interesting, because I think what you can do is you can swing with your awakened King Piccolo leader and then Z awaken during combat, so that you get the +5k from the first permanent, you get the +5k in critical from the second permanent. So mid swing you can become a 25k critical, if I'm kind of understanding this correctly. That seems kind of cool, but losing your draw kind of offsets that. Like, I wouldn't want to do this and then have the game go on much longer. Like, I want to end the game that turn or possibly the next turn. And with the activate main to play another guy for free, you can possibly do that. Like, you can get more aggression going that turn, because again, you're going to be a 25k crit swinger, you're going to be free playing another battle card. But if your opponent makes it to the next turn, I don't know if you're going to survive that, to be honest, unless you have like the best defensive cards in your hand, right? So a little bit of a risky thing, but I think Z awakening this during combat is probably going to be pretty decent. All right, so the unison for the deck: Piccolo, Guardian of Earth. So when I first saw this revealed from San Diego Comic-Con, I thought it was a yellow card, and I was excited because I love playing yellow, but this is actually still a really cool card for green. So it's 2-drop, 15k unison, auto once per turn. If you have 1 or more Z energy, when an opponent's battle card is KO'd, this card gets +5,000 for the turn. Activate main +1, draw 1, great +1 obviously. Activate main -1, this card gains dual attack for the turn. So pretty important thing to note here is that when you remove a marker from a unison, it's going to lose all stats stat buffs. So you're going to ideally want to -1 before you try to resolve that auto, which should be relatively easily doable in a green deck that can KO pretty much on command, but just something you want to be aware of, right? So anyways, that's a great unison. And then we have King Piccolo, Seal Undone. So we have a 1-drop barrier auto. If you have a Demon Clan in your battle area, when this card's played from your hand, draw 1. Auto limit 1. If your leader is a green King Piccolo card, when you play a green Demon Clan with an energy cost of 2 or more using a skill, draw 1 card and add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. So this card seems incredibly important for the strategy, and only being a rare is a little surprising too. This kind of seems like it would be an SR, but yeah, I mean, just free playing your guys, and the fact that your leader still draws when you do that, and having this barrier King Piccolo in play, that's going to draw you more cards when you free play more cards. This deck feels like it's going to have a really big hand, which is cool. Then there's Peel Off Shoe and My Madcap Miscalculation. 1-drop 1k. If you lose a green Piccolo, when this card's played, choose 1. Either draw a card or play up to 1 green King Piccolo with energy cost of 1 from your deck. Place the card in the owner's drop, and then shuffle your deck. So this is actually copies 5 through 8 of King Piccolo's Seal Undone. Just note though, his first auto only draws a card if he's played from hand. So that's a little unfortunate, but I mean, I think it's still going to be really important to get this guy on the board turn 1, and then to start free playing as many Demon Clans as you possibly can and just draw an insane amount of cards. This is, for all intents and purposes, piano, or the closest equivalent to piano for this deck. I don't really think you'll be able to trigger during your opponent's turn, although there might be some cards that allow you to trigger during your opponent's turn, but yeah, this card is going to draw you a card every single time you free play a guy. This seems really good. All right, let's talk about some of our Demon Clan cards. So firstly, we have Piano Faithful Aid, 1-drop 5k when this card's played. Look at the top 5 of your deck, add up to 1 Namekian or Demon Clan, both green and with energy costs of 4 or less, or 1 green unison with specified cost of 2 on limits in your hand, and then shuffle your deck. So great Archetype Searcher, might need to play it, might not, kind of just depends. Tambourine Demonic Subordinate, we have 2-drop 10k auto for a green when this card's played, draw 1. So you'll free play it, but then when you do that, if you want to pay 1 more, you get a cantrip, not bad. When this card's played for free, or when it's played, this effect is free, I mean, choose one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 4 or less and KO it. So some on-site removal for free, definitely pretty good. Symbol Demonic Subordinate, 2-drop 10k when this card attacks, choose up 2 Demon Clans in your battle area, and they get plus 5k for the turn. So as long as you're swinging with Symbol, himself and whatever other one you might have in play, probably Tambourine, is going to become a 15k attacker, which definitely gets on par with Red King Piccolo stuff. And then auto for an energy, if your leader's a King Piccolo, when this card is used in a combo, choose one of your leaders and it gains double strike for the turn. So this leader and Red King Piccolo gain an Archetype Champa, Archetype Double Striker, which is pretty cool. Again, kind of raises the question, are they going to ban the double strike combo cards? Maybe. I mean, a lot of decks seem to be getting their own Archetype versions of them, or the leader has it built in, so that's a thing. But one thing I'm noticing here is that you won't be able to grant your Z leader double strike, which is obviously kind of important because your Z leader becomes a big critical swinger. This only works for a King Piccolo, and even if you Z Awaken, it should follow the rules of regular Awaken, where you don't carry over inherited keywords. That should definitely be a thing. But I mean, regardless, this card seems good for the fact that it makes your other Demon Clans 15k attackers, and the fact that it's an Archetype Champa seems really good. Then we have Drum Demonic Subordinate. So we have a 3-drop 15k, so he's a higher cost than the rest of them. Blocker, when this card's played, choose one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. Auto, when this card's placed in a drop from your Z energy, remove it from the game. Activate battle, limit 1. If your leader is a green King Piccolo or Piccolo Jr. card with an original power of 15k, use this card in a combo from your drop at the end of the battle. Send this card from your drop to your warp. So this is a really important thing that we don't know about Z energy yet and how to charge it. Like, this card has an ability that says when it's, at the end of the battle, send it to the warp. Does the Z energy mechanic override that and allow you to just put it into your Z energy? This kind of leads me to say that the Z energy mechanic does trump cards that go to a specific area at the end of combo, because why else would it have the auto to remove it from the game when it leaves your Z energy, right? Like, that's the way they want it to be permanently removed from the game. But I'm assuming this activate battle will allow it to go into your Z energy. And I guess they won't be implementing a ruling that says if it's specified to go somewhere else, send it to that location, right? I kind of thought they might do that because launch with its card, I think it's like launch the Pure Hearted with that card, you should be able to evade it going to the warp, if I remember correctly, if that's how this is going to follow. But yeah, I mean, still seems like a great card. A demon is born, 2-drop counterattack, negate the attack, play up to 1 red or green demon clan card with energy cost of 3 or less from your drop with skills negated for the turn. Permanent, if there's a King Piccolo card and you have 3 or more Z energy, activate this card's counter skill from your hand by paying 1 of any color instead of its energy cost. So another card to throw into the OG red King Piccolo. You can activate this for 1 and then summon any of your demon clans from the drop area. The thing that kind of sucks though is that they lose their skills for the turn, so you can't bring the red drum in to be a barrier blocker or give something minus 10k, but you can revive any of them and then just go back into your next turn and maybe you'll have the dual attacking tambourine or something like that. So I don't know how important this card's going to be. I think it's not going to be all that great because if you need to use a Z energy or if you just can't stack the Z energy up fast enough, you're not going to be able to use this card for 1 like intended. So I don't think it'll be played too much, but it is a kind of a cool card and I like that it kind of walks the line between red and green King Piccolo. Anyways, then we have King Piccolo, new youthful conqueror, 4-drop 20k, evolve for 1 over a King Piccolo of any color, keep in mind, so maybe this can be relevant for the red deck. Auto limit 1 for a green. If your leader's a green King Piccolo card, you have 2 or more energy. When you play a demon clan using a skill, play this card from your hand. Great ability to be played for very cheap. Auto limit 1 when this card attacks, switch this card to active mode, then choose up 2 green demon clans in your battle area, and they get plus 5k for the turn. So unless the red leader is somehow able to incorporate these green demon clans, I don't know how the autos on this card are going to be helpful to Red King Piccolo. I don't remember off the top of my head, though, if the Red King Piccolo leader specifically requires red demon clans for its strategy. Maybe it doesn't care about the color, and maybe you can just play all these cards in Red King Piccolo and make a red-green Christmas deck. I mean, that's definitely a possibility. I just don't remember off the top of my head. But if that is, this is going to be really interesting for deck building, especially with 4 copies of this drum for sure. But anyways, moving along, we have Piccolo Jr. Vengeance Reborn, 3-drop 15k, barrier counterattack, limit 1. If your leader is a green KP card or Piccolo Jr. to get the attack and play this card. When your life's at 3 or less and you have a King Piccolo or a Demon Clan card, both green and with energy cost of 2 or more in your battle area, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost. So very similar to the Piccolo Jr. King Scion from the red deck, just a counterattack for whatever reason. I guess Piccolo Juniors are meant to be free play counterattacks for their King Piccolo decks. That's kind of funny. But anyways, then we have Piccolo Jr. Faded Rival. Again, remember from yesterday's video, you can play the Goku Faded Rival in this deck pretty easily from what I recall. But anyways, we have a 6-drop 25k dual attack, evolve for 2 over a Piccolo Jr. with energy cost of 3 or more, so right over the free negate. Auto, if your leader is green, when this card attacks, your opponent discards a card from their hand that is dual attack, and that's not a once per turn auto. Activate main, limit 1 for a green. If you have Son Goku Fade Rival in play this card from your hand, then choose one of your opponent's unisons and remove a marker from it for each card in your Z energy. Alright, that's actually pretty insane. Have 3 Z energy, remove 3 markers. Like, that's a really powerful effect. Obviously, it's going to be least useful against blue because they can just God Sealing it to prevent that from happening. But against all the rest of the colors, this is going to be a really good card at killing unisons. That's awesome. Then we have a Z card coming out in the set, which I guess is not necessarily tied to King Piccolo, but where else would I talk about it? Frieza Resurrected Ambition, 2-drop 15k with a 1 Z energy cost. Deflect Double Strike when this card's played. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 5 or less and KO it. Auto once per turn, place one of your Z energy in the owner's drop. One of your other green battle cards with energy cost of 2 or more attacks. Your opponent discards a card from their hand. That's kind of neat, actually. Obviously, all the Demon Clans that we play for free are all 2 costs or higher, so that can be triggered pretty easily. This thing has Deflect, so it should theoretically land to the board and stick in most cases when it's played, except for against like some instances of red and the green mirror. I could see that being a thing, but still a pretty cool card. And again, like as the Z deck first gets introduced, this might be one of the better Z cards, but obviously it could definitely get phased out over time. But we haven't seen a plethora of Z cards yet, at least in the main set, so probably going to be a staple in a Z deck for green. Then I just have some cards here that you can play in this deck that are just kind of older and, you know, they fit in here kind of nicely. So Piccolo Jr. Driven to Fight, 2-drop 10k, Barrier, Bond 2. Swing, if you have 2 or more Namekians in play, you draw a card. Being a 10k attacker is obviously pretty weak, but I think one of the effects can boost him up to a 15. And the fact that he has Barrier means he might stick around, so might not be the worst. Then I was looking at old green Demon Clans, and I believe there's only 3 in the game. One of them is a vanilla drum, one of them is a 1-drop blocker symbol, and this one is a 2-drop 15k tambourine. I don't know if those cards are going to be played in the deck. I'll have to really just kind of experiment when I build it, but if any of them, I can maybe see this tambourine just because he can get boosted to a 20k critical for free play. could be decent, but again, like, we'll kind of have to see as we build the deck. And then Piccolo Jr., Arena Wrecker. I think one of the effects allows you to play him for free, so he can basically come in and pop a field the cost of 1 or less, then he becomes 20k, and if you boost him up, he gains becomes 25. So not bad. Only being able to pop a field cost of 1 is a little suspect. The Tactical Vegeta is probably better in most cases because there are a lot of other field cards like the baby field card and other random ones that you want to be hitting that aren't cost of 1, but still an option if, you know, Invoker came back or whatever the case is. But anyways, guys, I mean, I'm a big fan of Red King Piccolo. I like this deck a lot. I kind of like the fact that it seems like they're taking a more balanced approach to free play. I mean, it's not the insane cycling ability that the Red King Piccolo deck is, right? It just seems to be a little bit more, you know, lower to the ground and realistic. But anyways, let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.